RMT General Secretary Mick Lynch listening to the Transport Secretary joining us now. Hello to you, Mr Lynch. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us on the programme. He was talking about you. What are you going to say in response?
Are we a free country or aren't we?
Oh, I didn't hear all of it. He seemed to be saying that railway workers have received £160,000 in subsidy. What he really means is that he's given the private sector operators that money, and last year they removed £500 million from this industry in profit. So it's his construction of the way that the railway industry that is shaped at the moment that is causing these problems, and he's responsible for this dispute in the sense that he has a veto on what the train operating companies can offer us. It's written into their contracts that he's directly responsible for industrial relations, and he can dictate what the terms are. And the fact is they've made no offer on pay towards our members. What they've offered us is mass redundancies, recontracting our members on inferior terms and conditions, massive changes to their work-life balance, and cuts in Network Rail to the safety regime of up to 50% of the inspection. So he's caused this problem, and he's got to facilitate a way out of it, and he could do that today. And if he wants to facilitate a negotiated settlement, I'm very happy to deal with him. But what he won't do is contact me or any of my officers or any of the people responsible for this negotiation and create a way forward.
And the reason he won't is because he says that you're militant, that you're extreme left, and he went on to say that you're not normal because there have been 160 different disputes, and there is some sort of dispute or balloting for a dispute every single day.
Well, it's ironic to be called not normal by the Conservative Party, who are taking themselves into the realms of the extreme right at the moment, as we've seen in this contest. They're saying that paying tax isn't normal, and having free trade unions with the ability to take industrial action isn't normal. The people behind me are ordinary men and women in this country. They work hard to deliver the railway service, and what they don't want to do is see their wages diluted, their terms and conditions diluted, and their contracts of employment ripped up. So I'm not a militant, I'm not even a member of a political party, and I haven't been for 30 years. So the idea that we're running some ideological campaign is nonsense, frankly. What we want to do is get a settlement to a straightforward industrial dispute on jobs, pay and conditions. And we could do that if Grant Shapps would allow the companies to negotiate freely, and he hadn't cut £2 billion from the funding of the National Railway and £2 billion from the London Underground in the last few weeks.
Is it right, is it true, what he said, that there have been 160 different disputes or threats of disputes, and there is some threat every single day?
Well, we deal with over 500 companies in the transport sector, ranging from bus to fire engine, ranging from bus to the ferries and lots of other entities that we deal with. So we will always defend our members. Not all of those disputes run into industrial action. Industrial action's quite rare on the railway and in the transport sector. So we will always work with our employers to try and get a settlement to any of the disputes that we're involved in. And what we've got here is a protracted dispute because of the stance of this government and because of Grant Shapps' attitude and his approach towards industrial relations. So if these companies were allowed to act as all the other companies are, we would get a settlement to this dispute.
Is it right that he says that 2 vans have to go to every job as opposed to even 1 van being needed, but you double up on everything?
No, that's a load of nonsense. He doesn't know what he's talking about. We are talking to Network Rail about the deployment of staff every day of the week. There's never been an occasion where our members refuse to get in a van with other people. It's rubbish.
OK, just to clarify, he made the point, and I'm glad you've clarified it for us. 4% is what you've been offered, with a possible 4% next year as well, depending on changes to working practices. Has that offer been made to your members, or did you reject it before even offering it to them?
Well, we haven't been offered a straightforward pay deal. What we've been offered is a set of conditions. We've got to accept nearly 2,000 redundancies. We've got to accept cuts in the maintenance regime of up to 50%. We've got to accept massive changes to our members' working conditions. And the offer that they've made is conditional on all of those things. And it's a 4% offer that covers last year and this year, and next year's offer would take it to a 3-year deal. Inflation today, the retail price index, is 11.8, so it doesn't go anywhere near resolving the cost of living crisis. But what we want to do first is work out what the conditions are, get a guarantee of no compulsory redundancies, and then we can work on the pay. But people are being impoverished in this country by below inflation pay deals, and this is yet another below inflation pay deal. What we do with those offers is consult our members in mass meetings, and we have done that, and they have overwhelmingly given us the answer that they reject that offer.
And those latest conditions, have they been put to your members?
Yeah, we explain all of the offers to our members, and we broadcast
And they said,
it.
no thanks, we want you to go on strike again. Because the reason I'm pushing you on this, Mr Lynch, is because apparently that isn't the case, and your members have not been given the opportunity to offer their opinion on the latest offer from Network Rail. That, again, is incorrect, yeah?
They've been offered the opportunity to offer their opinion through their representatives, the same way that MPs represent their constituents. We have a network of representatives, and the offer is obviously unacceptable, because if you look behind me, our people are out on strike in massive numbers. We've got 43,000 people in this strike. When we started, we had just over 40,000 people. Railway workers are joining this dispute because they want to go on strike in response to what the government is offering. The membership in this dispute has grown by 2,500 since the last strike action. So the support for this dispute is growing by people joining the RMT in response to what they see as these paltry offers and the offer of impoverishment going forward.
OK, Eddie Dempsey, RMT union negotiator, I'm sure you know him. Apparently, he's said by industry sources to have said, we can see a way through it and are prepared to postpone the strikes. Is that true?
That's completely untrue. We can see a way through it. We can see the way to a negotiated settlement, but we've never said to anyone that we're prepared to postpone the strikes. We take the offers back to our executive committee, we talk to our members, we examine the offer against what the dispute is about, and the offers so far have not matched what we need to settle the dispute. And I also say, Kay, that we've not had an offer from the train operating companies. Half the people in dispute work for train operators, and there is no pay offer whatsoever, there is no job security offer, and all that they've proposed is that they shut every ticket office, they put all of our members on new contracts of employment, just like the P&O dispute and fire and rehire, and none of that is acceptable to anyone in our union.
It looks like, well, certainly as we speak, Liz Truss is the favourite to be the next Prime Minister. She says she's had enough. The union barons, I think she means you, have got too much power, and that power will be removed with a change in the law. What would you say in response to her?
Well, I'm not a union baron. I'm an elected officer of this union, and the people behind me elect me, and they can get rid of me if they want to through the election process. We haven't got too much power. The problem in this country is that trade unions don't have enough power. That's why so many people are suffering poor wages. That's why there's such an imbalance in the workplace. And it's a shame that the Tory party is descending into an ultra-right clique at the moment. And Liz Truss is seeking to take away human rights and the ability of the democratic right of people to express themselves through their trade unions and industrial action, which is one of the pillars of our democracy. It's only repressive regimes that stop people going on strike and stop them expressing themselves and stop them rebalancing the power in the workplace through their trade unions. I know you're a busy man, so I'm going to have to let you go. One final question before I do, though. You say you haven't got enough power. What more power do you want? Well, what we want is the ability to express ourselves as free trade unions so that we don't have these oppressive anti-trade union laws. We don't have the threats of millions of pounds of fines against trade unions. And we don't want to go back to the 70s where one of the previous Tory governments put trade unionists in prison for taking industrial action. And if that's the path we're going down, we're going to live in a very repressive society. We want to act freely as democratic people with people that live in a liberal society.